Hey, what's up? Everything has sucked. There was like a trip I went on where there were some awesome roller coasters and some cool dudes, and that was awesome. Before that, and ever since then, it has been a flaming pile of shit. I've had the coronavirus for like 8 days now. Every video I make seems like weird and like not happy. So it's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's pressure on Den that hopefully this will be the one that gets me out of the funk. I don't know. You know, when things suck, I guess you just keep going. What else do you do? Den versus HISS, Missing You.
You've been music option moving. I need you. Do you need me? Cause every time we touch, you take control, and my heart falls. How to move on from your love.
This is fucking awesome. Back up, why not?
How to move on from your love.
Those little lines that ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. He's actually made it where he cuts the note on that little melodic fragment. Instead of it going straight into the low bass or straight into the percussion, he actually chops the note a little bit and gives it just a tiny bit of space before he does either the percussion or the bass. And it makes it like a lot smoother. It makes it not feel rushed. Like it makes it feel like the idea is complete. Bump 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 bump. Dot 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 bump. Back up.
I need your love. I need it. Oh, where have you been? Feels like time stopped moving. I need you. Do you need me?
Oh, got a little crazy there.
You fell away. I made mistakes. After all this time, you're still on my mind.
Hell yeah.
Let go.
He's using space like so smartly and I would say like confidently. I'll try to demonstrate on my guitar in a second after he finishes the thing. But there's right again, he's got the melody, percussion, and bass going on, very typical beatbox thing. But when you are being like a soloist, it's really common to fill up the space. Like, oh, we got to keep going, got to keep filling it up because otherwise these parts aren't going to connect. But if you make your bass lines and your melodies and your drums predictable in a good way, then you don't have to fill up the space. The listener's going to be ready for you when you come back in. And that last section, he did a really amazing job of not always having a bass line, not always having some melodic thing. He took time off from each one and came right back, but it didn't really feel like anything was missing because the contour made sense.
After this time, you're still
right here, very sparse bass. And right there, actually, back up a little bit, now the melody is kind of sparse. Absolutely excellent.
You fell away. Can't hear your name. 'Cause every time I wish you were mine.
Yeah. Now the challenge is, can I actually play something that will demonstrate that? Because I'm not sure that I can. At least not make it up on the fly. So let's do something, I don't know, simple. So a little A minor. So notice how little the chord there is. Bottom, nothing, just a little bit of rhythm. I forgot I was in drop D. Did you get the idea? I messed it up. I was trying to get you to predict it. Da da da. Da. Keeping it very sparse, like using just like a couple of notes. And the idea is, what would it sound like if I was not being comfortable? I might try to fill up all the space. You're like, but you said it already gets boring. The more notes don't actually make it more exciting, just makes it boring. And now the rhythm's gone and the groove is gone. And like you can just get comfortable knowing that like if you're establishing the groove, if you have the groove down, you actually can stop playing because the groove's still going. It's like imagine the song was playing, you turn the volume off. But when you turn the volume back on, the song is still playing. So if you will internalize parts of the groove and keep that track playing in your head, you don't have to... Are you playing notes for the listener, or are you playing notes because you're afraid you're going to stop being musical? And so if you can kind of cover that gap, if you can keep the musicality going on in your head, then you can always play less or play more, but this song's just like going like a backing track in your head. And yeah, I think that's kind of what Din is doing there. And a lot of these guys is getting more comfortable with the space, is that everything complicated can be made simple. If you can't take something complicated and make it simple, you just don't have a good enough understanding of the underlying structure of it to make it simple, right? Right. A room with 5 houses is really just a room with. It's a house with. Wait, what did I say? A house with 5 rooms is really just a house with 1 room plus 4 extra rooms. Right. You take a regular old house. Actually take a regular old room. You take a regular room with, say, like a stove, a hot plate, and a toilet, and a bed, and a chair. That's really the same thing as a mansion. A mansion is just a really complicated way of laying that out. You take the toilet, and now you give it its own room, and now you have 7 of those. And you take the chair, and you make it a couch instead of a chair, and then you add extra chairs in there, and then you make extra rooms with those chairs and couches and windows, and take a bed, and you know what I'm saying? It's like a mansion is really just a super elaborate, complicated version of a toilet and a bed and a stove. Music's the same way. It's like everything that's fancy is really just a ornate, decorated version of something that's pretty fucking simple. But it can be, if you're not used to looking at it that way, it can be a little weird. Yeah, I don't think I did a lot of justice to explaining that. If you got it, you got it. If not, I don't know, watch it again. Or go... form an analysis might be something you want to look into. Like composition would be... Okay, composition and form and analysis kind of like going together. Composition could be like how you come up with melodies and bass lines and how they relate to each other and things like that. Whereas form is how do you take these small units of composition and structure them together to make much larger pieces of work. Like there really is an idea that if you want to make a piece of music that's 30 minutes long, you can learn how to do it. You just have to go, how is something like that put together? How do you take a few measures of music, a few seconds of music, and turn it into something that's 25 minutes long? And it's something you can absolutely learn how to do. Can you learn to do it well? I don't know. I don't know if I know how to do it well, but I mean, I had to do it for some classes. It was an elective, a compositional elective that I chose to do because I thought it was really interesting to kind of look at hundreds of measures by a certain composer and then try to boil them down to some really common elements and themes. Like how in the world did this guy come up with 1 hour of music? Can I find something in there that's like a tiny building block where it all connects? Anyways. Oh. This helped me. I don't know if it helped you, but it helped me.